Make no mistake, American democracy is eroding at high speed, ultra speed. In the last 2.5 weeks, President Trump has signed more than 300 executive orders with his Sharpies, while his Doge appointee Elon Musk and his boys are quickly dismantling one ministry and agency after one another. USAID has stopped working overseas, which leads literally to people dying today, yesterday and tomorrow. The Ministry of Education will be demolished and destroyed. Next up will be the Pentagon, where Secretary of Defense, an alleged alcoholist and women abuser Pete Hegseth, former Fox News host as well, has said that HQ must be extremely reduced while the warriors must be strengthened. Those warriors are needed when the president fulfills his promise from his inaugural speech to expand the territory of the United States. Adding the Panama Canal, adding Greenland with all its resources, adding Canada as the 51st state. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has reportedly said behind closed doors that this is a very real threat. And then, not to forget, deport 2 million Palestinians by Israel and develop the Gaza Strip as the Riviera of the Middle East for world people, a plan that Trump's son-in-law billionaire developer Jared Kushner has spoken about already about a year ago. Meanwhile, the ultra-right American Accountability Foundation, led by former Capitol Hill aide to Republican Senators Thomas Jones, publishes names and public information of federal health workers, almost all of them black, and names them targets. These people who are working to improve the health of people of color and other vulnerable Americans are being named as targets and quote-unquote woke DEI devotees in the federal government who need to be fired. In the election campaign in 2024, then-candidate Donald Trump denied having knowledge of the so-called Project 2025, a 922-page document that was pushed by the extreme conservative Heritage Foundation, including 140 former and current Trump associates and appointees as authors. Now, much of the main drags of the 900-pager are being executed quickly. One of the key propositions of Project 2025 is the destruction of the Ministry of Education. CNN has analyzed 53 of Trump's earliest executive orders after January 20 and has found out that 36 of these are also outlined in Project 2025. Hard crackdown on immigration, complete banning of DEI, which stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and rolling back all environmental regulations on oil and gas exploration. Project 2025 also demands to quickly and aggressively punish countries that refuse deported migrants. Colombia had to experience that already. The dismantling of USAID has also been mentioned in Project 2025. The United States are on turbo speed on its way to oligarchy, kleptocracy, and authoritarianism. When I hear people speak about the importance of midterms in 2026 and the next presidential elections in 2028, I cannot but wonder how these elections are going to look like. Currently, the administration feeds raw meat to its base supporters. The base is enjoying the cruelty, the pain, and the tears of illegal migrants who are dragged out of buses and houses, soon school buses, mercilessly deported. Most recently, Indians were handcuffed and shackled for more than 20 hours on a flight to New Delhi. The base is joyfully cheering when Trump, the man who allegedly was on board flights with Jeffrey Epstein, signs another executive order surrounded by 2 or 3 dozen underage girls. I wouldn't want to see my girls behind this man, excluding quote-unquote men from women's sports. According to sports experts from the United States, we might speak about 100 athletes all over the country who are transgender athletes. All this is just a big distraction of raw meat. A distraction, though, that plays with the life and death of human beings, of our neighbors. The distraction is from that billionaires are going to enrich themselves in a massive way. Elon is not a champion of the poor and forgotten people. With no Ministry of Education, the chance is good that the forgotten people will never find out. Dark times are here, but this is a BookTube channel, right? Many authors have written about countries turning into autocracies and dictatorships, and that's what this video should be about. Many writers have seen the dangers. Now that these dystopias happen in real time, right in front of all of our eyes, I shortly recommend 10 books about states turning into darkness. There are way more of these books. Sinclair Lewis's It Can't Happen Here from 1935 is a chilling political satire that imagines the rise of a fascist dictatorship in the United States. Written during the rise of totalitarian regimes in Europe, the novel follows Doremus Jessup, a small-town journalist, as he witnesses the election of populist demagogue Berzelius Buzz Windrip, whose empty promises and authoritarian rule plunged the nation into chaos. Philip Roth's The Plot Against America from 2004 is a chilling alternative history that imagines aviation hero Charles Lindbergh defeating Franklin Delano Roosevelt in the 1940 presidential election and turning the US toward fascism. Told through the eyes of young Philip, a Jewish boy growing up in Newark, the novel explores how propaganda, nationalism, and fear can reshape a democracy. Omar Akhad's American War from 2017 is a haunting dystopian novel set in a future where climate change, political divisions, and a ban on fossil fuels ignite a second American Civil War from 2074 to 2095. The story follows Surratt Chestnut, a young girl from Louisiana, as she grows up in a refugee camp, becomes radicalized, and is ultimately shaped by war's endless cycle of violence. The fourth one is a classic novel. It's from a Canadian author. It's The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood from 1985. It's a chilling dystopian novel set in the totalitarian Republic of Gillette, where women are stripped of their rights and forced into rigid roles. The story follows Offred, a handmaid whose only purpose is to bear children for the ruling elite. Through her eyes, Atwood explores themes of power, resistance, and the fragility of freedom. Octavia Butler's Parable of the Talents from 1998 is the powerful sequel to Parable of the Sower, continuing the story of Lauren Olamina as she struggles to build her Earthseed community in a collapsing America. But her vision of a better future faces brutal opposition from religious extremists, political violence, and personal betrayal. With its eerie parallels to real-world events, Butler's novel explores the dangers of authoritarianism, the resilience of hope, and the cost of change. The Mandibles, a family 2029 to 2047, was written by Lionel Shriver and published in 2016, is a gripping dystopian satire that imagines a near-future America facing economic collapse. When the US defaults on its debt and the dollar becomes worthless, the once wealthy Mandible family is forced to confront a harsh new reality. As their financial security crumbles, so do their relationships, exposing the fragility of modern prosperity. One of two legendary classics, 1984 by George Orwell, is the ultimate dystopian novel, depicting a world of total surveillance, government propaganda, and thought control. Set in Oceania, it follows Winston Smith, a man who dares to question the party's oppressive rule. As he searches for truth and freedom, he learns that in a world of newspeak, doublethink, and constant surveillance, even his thoughts are not safe anymore. One more total classic is Brave New World by Aldous Huxley from 1932. Huxley presents a dystopian future where happiness is engineered, individuality is suppressed, and society is controlled through consumerism, genetic engineering, and the drug soma. In this seemingly perfect world, Bernard Marx and John the Savage struggle to find meaning beyond pleasure and conformity. But is a world without pain truly free, is the main question that Huxley is asking. A more recent book that fits into this 10-book list is The Circle by Dave Eggers from 2013, and this is actually very, very timely. The Circle is a chilling dystopian novel about the dangers of total transparency in the digital age. Hello Silicon Valley and all the billionaires. When May Holland lands a dream job at The Circle, a powerful tech company obsessed with surveillance, data collection, and eliminating privacy, she's drawn deeper into a world where everything must be shared and nothing more stays secret. But at what cost? That is the question, actually. At what cost do we get rid of democracy? And the last title in this selection is Jennifer Government by Max Barry from 2003. Max Barry's Jennifer Government is a fast-paced, satirical dystopian novel set in a future where corporations rule the world. Corporations rule the world. Governments are powerless and people take the last name of their employer. When a marketing scheme turns deadly, government agent Jennifer Government is drawn into a battle against ruthless corporate greed. That is the content of this novel. And these were 10 novels about dystopias while we see a dystopia developing right in front of our eyes. Well, we shouldn't give up. We should be informed. We should stay informed. We should read, and we should talk about what we read, and we should talk about the things we stand for.